I am the host, Richard Ravenbrook, a man, a life coach, and a spiritual mentor who has endeavored to find real spiritual truth and self-enlightenment. With experiences in various ministry types, pagan traditions, and even magical paths. With a love for Mother Earth and the balance of life, I work to channel spirit and to help educate and mentor those striving to deconstruct from mainstream religion and to empower them to find the divinity within themselves and to the truth around them. The messages are focused on everyday life, creating an environment of real coexistence, a world of mutual respect, love, and dignity. The pagan preacher is all things, the preacher and the pagan, speaking from the wisdom of spirit. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to the Pagan Preacher Podcast and another spiritual message. Sitting down today in my home office, seeking spirit, asking again what it was that needed to get out to the masses, to the people, what it was that spirit was laying on my heart. And you know, we all want to explore. We all want to try new things. We all need to find new adventures and new explorations of excitement or thrill, or we're just creatures of learning. We are hungry for knowledge, wisdom. Yet most of us don't know where to even look to begin to do that. So today what we're going to talk about is, if I can speak, the exploration of self. Learning to understand ourselves. On this journey of magic and miracles, power, divinity, manifestations, we must understand ourselves before we can truly understand creation, about purpose and truth. Multiple religions speak of learning thyself to understand everything that we need to learn within in order so we can learn without, the outside, the external. But looking within ourselves sometimes can be the most difficult and the most painful experiences that we can ever achieve to work on. Understanding ourselves means to be honest with ourselves. It means to be ready to see not just the good things, but the bad things. The things that are within us, that limit us, that even hinder us. That though they may not be our fault, they are there due to upbringings, traditions, the things in our life that we've been through, the issues, the trials, and the tribulations that affect us, unresolved issues, conflicts, traumas, these things that maybe we haven't dealt with, excuse me, and that we have to focus on. And it's not always easy. Some people call this, doing our shadow work. And it's about truly not only understanding us from within, but working on changing that which needs changed. honest change. Honesty within ourselves to what we are, what we feel. Because no matter what you feel, it is real. It may not be, how do you say this? It may not be real in a sense that it doesn't make any sense or it's just illogical, but if you feel something, it is for a reason. And that feeling is affecting you. That emotion is affecting you. And that emotion must be dealt with. And in order to deal with that emotion, we must deal with what causes that emotion. But first we have to accept the need for that help, for that attention. You're going to say, well, I know I shouldn't feel this way, but I do. And there's a reason you feel that way. Maybe it's a legitimate reason. Maybe it's just your imagination making you think or feel. And that's why as humans, we're complicated. We have so much within us that it's miraculous just to the extent that our human bodies and our human minds can achieve, can do in this world. Most of us on this planet probably only use 10% of our ability because we've never been taught the other 90%. Some don't want you to know that other 90% because then they can't control you. Because you take a population that understands themselves, understands their potential, their ability, and knows how to use it, can be a danger and a threat to those that would simply want to confine or control. We've got to look within ourselves. That great exploration of self. Understanding what makes us tick. What makes us feel the way we feel. Honesty within ourselves. And I know this from myself and from many others, that we live a life sometimes that is not the life of our choosing, and I've spoken this many times, but we live a life that others would want from us. We live a life to please our parents, to please our spouse, to please someone else in our life that we care for, that we look up to. Teachers, mentors that we respect, and they say we should live a certain way or that we shouldn't live a certain way, and sometimes we suppress our own feelings, our own courage to blaze our own path in this world and in our own life because we fail to remember that it's our life. It's your life. Your life. And whether we come back to another life or whether we go somewhere else, the fact of the matter is you only have this life in this vessel. And it's about enjoying life. It's about good experience. And for centuries, mankind has seemingly not known what to do with themselves. We seem like wild animals without a purpose, without a cause, without, if we look at random animals, wolves run in packs, they have certain order. Different animals have different, how do we want to say it, that they have this, doesn't it seem like most of nature never has to worry because everything that they have has already been given to them. They function on instinct. They function on purpose, their purpose. Their agenda is to simply exist and be happy in a way that we can contribute to nature. Because I believe all living things have an emotion, have a connection to other living things. They feel love, they feel comfort. Nobody could ever tell me that they don't. Because why does a dog or a cat, why do they long for attention? Why do they get excited when someone comes home if they don't feel? They do feel. But mankind has seemed to lost its purpose, its function. And we have ran rabbit centuries upon centuries, destroying each other because we didn't know who we were inside, didn't know what our purpose was, didn't know why we were here. We strive for the purpose of life, not understanding why it is that we're here. And we can't just accept that sometimes it's the simple things in life that are the best things in life. We can watch Mother Nature, we can watch the animals, we can watch all the living things. And from them, we can learn how to live our life in a way that role models after them. And that may sound silly, but it's not. Because sometimes our lack of happiness comes from this need to somehow always be wanting something more than what we have, building something more than what we've got to get faster and faster and better. But yet we've never even achieved really the first run on the ladder. But most of us are trying to jump to the top of the ladder. We can't even understand the basic level of happiness of just being who we are, just existing in this world and being the person or the people that we are truly. Because we're taught, even from young ages, that religion is right, and that we're all different religions due to our backgrounds and our cultures. We're trained to be certain ways. We're indoctrinated in schools to believe only certain things. Reaching out and truly exploring ourselves in this world in a way that goes way beyond normal education. But it's into the spiritual things that we speak of here. You know, looking within is looking at spirit. Spirit is connected to all things. It's connected to every creature that runs on this earth, even to the plant life. Everything that has breath has life, and that everything has life has spirit, because spirit is what gives it that life, that existence. Though they all be different, they all serve different purposes, we all are in conjunction and working together. Why is it that sometimes that we believe that we can not necessarily speak in a verbal language to certain animals, but yet we still can communicate with them somehow, some way, whether it be by touch or sound? We can communicate an emotion that is understood by both entities, both individual vessels.
though they be completely different species, they still somewhat communicate. You say, why are you going into all this? Because we're talking about exploration of self and understanding why we feel the way we feel. Maybe it's because we haven't hit the basics. We're not even taught the basics. We're born and we're slammed into a society that we don't even know, that we don't approve of, because the rules and the regulations are already put here, whether you like them or not. And you're going to say, well, you have certain choices in this life, but we all know for a fact that that's not necessarily true. It can be. I believe someday it will be, but only after people understand who they are and their real purpose, or not either real purpose, but their real potential of what they can be, the average person can be. To know that you, that single man driving down the road in the old beat-up pickup truck, barely making it by every day. You know, the lady driving home from work, wore out from serving food all day long, whatever it may be. You are the people that will make the difference in this world. You, the people that understand, the people that go way beyond this fabrication of corporate craziness. The simple things, the country person that knows how to grow the food, that knows how to live by Mother Nature. We've lost ourselves because we've lost our touch with Mother Earth, with our surroundings. Most of us are unhappy. We've lost track. Relationships die a dime a dozen. Divorce is up 90-something% because we have lost the simple things in our lives that make us happy. You're going to say, well, these other things make me happy. But we were created by a creator that knew what we needed for happiness. Where things went wrong, I don't know. Many of us don't know what happened. One day I know we will learn all of those things. One day soon, the answers will come completely and utterly. But until then, Spirit speaks and tries to understand and tries to guide us back into ourselves. That every answer always points back to look within. That there's nothing done that hasn't been done before. Look within. Trust that voice that is within you. Trust that voice that calls you back to Mother Nature. Calls you back to that which gives you peace. You know, and I've said many, many, many times, there's so much confusion and there's so much distraction, there's so much chaos in this life due to this ever wanting of material assets and trying to be happy on everything else because we don't understand it's not the complicated things that we want, it's the simple. Because even though we are capable of magnificent things, the simplicity of what things make us happy, content, and fulfilled, we've all left and done something else. Meanwhile, that which lives on this earth is dying around us because of us. We've turned the world into a concrete jungle, building more and more things that do nothing but destroy the world around us. When we know that there's ways to do everything better. We know there's better forms of electricity and water purification and vehicles and whatever those things may be. We all know there's better. Corporations quench patents. They hide different ideas that might go against their corporations and cost them so much money. We know that. We can even understand that to a point. But where do we draw the line? This is about exploration of self. And when I'm talking about all these things, these are the things that come from within me, that are boiling up within me, and the Spirit is trying to get within all of us and all the people that are listening to this podcast. They say, Richard, you're nothing but a tree hugger. And I am. Because it's not about hugging trees. It's about pure logic. Trees give us air. Air that's pure. Trees purify. Trees give home to the creatures of Mother Earth. Trees give us shade. Trees are everything to us. We cannot exist without trees. You're going to say, well, but it just doesn't seem that important. We can find a way to, why would we want to destroy everything? And I've never quite understood how someone could say they love a creator, but then be accepting of destroying everything that creator made. And not blink an eye about it. How can you say you love a creator or love the creator and then watch it die all around you? Knowing that you could make a difference, knowing that you can help stop it. But we have our things we have to do. We have our jobs. We got to go pay our bills. Kids have soccer practice, this and that, this, Everyone's afraid to make that first step, towards change. We're all afraid of doing that. But sadly, what happens is when we can't make that step ourselves, sometimes Spirit intervenes and puts an obstacle in front of us so we fall, so we trip. So we can look around and say, wow, I should be doing something different. But sadly, that often comes with great tragedy. Great tragedy in our world, in our country, in our planet. We see it all the time. When great tragedies happen where people come together as one. People that fought constantly day after day beforehand, but great tragedy brings them together. Why does it take that? Because we're not looking within ourselves. We're all looking outward, trying to see that what we need is outwardly. We need another job. We need a raise. We need a better car. We need this. We need that. And all the time, Spirit is saying, no, what you need to do is just stop. All you need to do is recognize who you are. And that everything that you need is already here on Mother Earth. Everything you need is given to you free of charge. Mankind, people with evil tendencies and evil forces have locked things in place and created a system of slavery, of volunteer slavery. And most of us don't even understand it as slavery. Most of us today, if you wanted to just stop and live off the grid, live as they lived many years ago, the simple ways, we wouldn't know how. We could get in trouble by law enforcement. But there is a way. It just takes more people united for that common cause. And I know I've kind of went here and there. Sometimes that happens with Spirit, because somebody out there needs to hear something. Spirit gives the unction and it comes out. And if you're out there and you've heard something that I said in this podcast, do understand it could very well have been meant for you specifically. Because Spirit is no respecter of persons. Spirit does things in miraculous, crazy ways sometimes. But when we need to hear something, when we need to feel something, that need is met somehow, some way. You are special. You are everything you need to be. You are capable and have so much potential. You want more happiness? Get back to the basics. Get back to the simple things. Look within yourself. Look deep within yourself. Be truthful with yourself and work on those things that are within you. Do you have grievances just for certain people? Do you feel divisions for certain people? Do you dislike certain things? Are you uncomfortable with certain situations? Think of these things and be honest with yourself. And then be honest with what you feel Spirit was saying was right and what was wrong. What is love and what is not? Because most of us believe that God is love. No matter what God that we believe in, what goddess we believe in, we all believe centered around the blessings that love is the thing that conquers all. So we base everything on love. We base all our judgments upon love. Because if we have love in the middle, if we have it focused, and then everything else is around that, we know we can make good judgments. Good righteous judgments for whatever religion or no religion. But humanity can make those choices, those decisions clearly, honestly, and perfectly balanced. Because love is the thing that keeps us all happy, keeps us content. We look everywhere in this world and we can see when it all comes back down to the final root cause. It's somewhere about love, or lack of love, hurt love, torn love. Sometimes we got to deal with those traumas. Sometimes we got to deal with things that we don't want to deal with, that we don't want to look at, we don't want to remember, we don't want to bring back to the surface because we're trying to hide them. But we can't resolve them unless we look at them, work through them. Maybe you need a therapist to help talk to. Maybe you can do this with just you and Spirit. Whatever the cause, do what you gotta do. There's nothing wrong with looking for help. There's nothing wrong with asking for a mediator to help you find yourself and to find that truth. It's having the courage to step out and be what it is that you need to be, what you want to be. You're not sure who that is? Nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing wrong with asking for someone just to be that ear, to listen. That's what we're here for. That's part of love. Self-exploration. Finding out who we are, so we can be better people, so we can make a better world, so our children and our grandchildren don't have to go through the things that we went through. They don't have to witness the wars and the tragedy and the deaths, the sicknesses, all while, rather than building or creating medicines that heal, we work on weapons of mass destruction. Crazy, stupid. Let us just focus this week on that exploration of self. Let's look within ourselves. Let's dive within ourselves. Let's spend the whole week looking at our faults and what we can do to make them better. What it is that is making us unhappy and how we can get out of that, how we can fix that. Am I living the life that's truly for me? Am I living the real me? Ask yourself that. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Be blessed, and blessed be.
Thank you, everyone. This is Richard Ravenbrook. From my heart to yours, I hope you are blessed. Please be a blessing. Share these podcasts. Share my short videos. Tell the world the work that's being done. Help me open the minds of those so closed. Help me bring into the fold those seeking truth and enlightenment. Be blessed.